Hey! Right, I'm just gonna go over a few things here because I've been meaning to do this for a while now. Because I don't want anybody to damage their trucks or any part of their truck. So just a little bit of advice for a few people. There's always going to be conflict. Some people are going to say, "Don't do that. I've never done it. Everything's fine. Blah blah blah. Don't do it because of this." But things that I do, I've never had any issues with, and a lot of it's just common sense. For example, you've got moving parts. It's best to stick a little bit of oil on them, right? Because there's nowhere greasing any of these small parts. I usually put a bit of oil on these joints here, on these joints, on the drive shafts. I know there's no drive shafts, real drive here, but oil on the bearings. Just WD-40. I usually put oil. I know it's rusty. I haven't oiled them for a long while. It's been sitting here. I haven't used it, but a little bit of oil around all these. Any bits that move, I oil. Yeah, in there. I'll oil all them. Just a little spray of WD-40 will do the trick. I haven't got any WD-40 to hand. Oh, I have got WD-40 to hand. Look, here it is. Not a lot, but it's running out. All you got to do, just put a little spray, yeah? Just on there, on every one, so that it goes in there and it will minimise the wear. It's pretty common sense, yeah? All these here, where that moves around, a little bit of oil, a little bit of oil. I mean, yeah, in the summer, when you got plenty of dust, the dust will stick to the oil, but it's better having a bit of dust stuck to it than it is having to replace parts because they're worn, And where the drive shafts go in there, a little bit of oil, a little bit of fluff, a little bit of fluff there. Just oil everything that moves, basically, because you'll save yourself a lot of trouble in the long run. I mean, you can see there where I oil along there, sticks a little bit. Just a bit of oil on all the moving parts, the ones that move a lot. These move all the time, when you're steering. This goes for anything, any car. It's not just these petrol truggies. I mean, any car, you need to stick a bit of oil on things. A lot of people don't. They just don't think it needs it. But it does. It's a good thing to be doing. Just a bit of WD-40. It's good stuff, man. You don't even have to have WD-40. You can have any type of oil as long as it oils. Don't really want to be putting engine oil on it. Well, you could do, but it's a bit more messier, that kind of stuff. Just to spray a WD-40 before and after every use and you'll be fine. Don't go overboard with it. But second thing, which is quite important, is if you've probably noticed all the cheaper things, cheap Chinese motorbikes and things like that, quad bikes, and the cheaper RC cars as well, they're not very well thought through. Like, for example, they put this engine on its side. It's ridiculous, really. But one thing is that air filter there. If you've got an air filter like that, that is not gonna do it. It's not gonna have any chance against water. Yeah, so if you're driving your truck in water and it's splashing up from the wheels and it's splashing up here and splashing back from the front ones, all getting around muddy water, it's gonna go onto that foam and it's gonna get sucked into the engine. It will get sucked in, and that's when you're gonna cause some damage. You might not notice it at first until it starts to get really bad from keep doing it. And it is going to get damaged, because dirty water is worse than clean water. Because if you think about it, water itself is going to be heavier than air going into that engine, right? It's going to hit the piston, it's going to hit the cylinder, it's going to cause damage. But when it's got mud in it and bits of grit, yeah, that will make its way through over time. A day's use. If your air filter's soaking wet, the grit is it's gonna be like sandpaper in your piston and in the engine, basically, because the two-stroke as well, it'll go down in the crank and all kinds of stuff. So you don't want to be getting it wet, yeah. Don't want to be using it in water or mud, really. And a lot of people, you're going to say, well, what's the point in having one if you can't go and use it in puddles and mud and all this? Well, do what you want to do, but I'm just giving you advice. I wouldn't use it in any water. Not only will it go in the air filter, but it will go in your clutch, it will go in any other place, you know, in your bearings for your wheels, and it will just wear them down. Same for sand. You don't really want to be using it in a lot of sand, you know, because sand literally will wear things away quicker than you can even think about. So I know you're going to be thinking, well, where can I use it? I can't use it anywhere, you know. Everything's dangerous. Well, you got to be considerate and have a bit of common sense. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you can use it in mud, but just don't go through big deep puddles that are going to splash water everywhere, because then you're going to get the water splashing up. If you're just in a bit of sticky clay mud sort of thing, that's not as bad, is it? Because it's not wet and watery, it's just sticky clay mud. It's going to get covered in mud, but there's not going to be water splashing up and getting soaked in. But you still need to keep an eye on your air filter to see if it's getting covered in mud. You know, and you can drive it on the beach, but then you got to think, you know, it's difficult to try and explain to, you know, just to some people, because they can't get it into their head. They don't have any common sense, you know. Sand wears things away, so you've just got, if you're going to drive it on the beach, just be considerate, you know. Don't go spinning and getting sand all over here, yeah, because if it goes in your engine, that's it. You ain't got no chance. The sand will wear big holes everywhere. So basically, you know, just use your common sense is what I'm trying to say. It's difficult sometimes to get the message across. But I've been watching a few videos on YouTube, and you know, people don't seem to be oiling things and don't treat their trucks, don't treat their engines well, you know. Don't let them warm up or nothing, and driving them through big puddles, you know, and the water's spraying up. They do it without their shells on. It's bad enough with the shell on, you know, but without it, it's all spraying up here and there, going in the electrics, which on these particular trucks ain't waterproof either. And then going in the air filter, you know, and the truck's dying, you know, it's like making that noise. When you rev it, it dies, because the water's getting in, simple as that, you know. And you've got to make sure as well that it ain't running too lean. Specific, you know, especially in the colder weather. In colder weather, you know, as the weather changes, you'll have to adjust the mixture with the screws. You will on any engine, yeah, with a carburetor. You'll have to adjust it. Well, any engine, even ones with even modern real-sized cars with the ECUs, it adjusts, but the computer does it itself because it can sense the temperature and it knows. But with a carburetor, you have to do it yourself, and you know, the colder weather is less dense, so it will need a little bit more fuel. So you've got to make sure it's not running lean, yeah. And you'll know if it's running lean because when you go to rev it, it will just die. And if you keep blipping the throttle, it will gradually pick up and go. But it means that your low speed needle is a little bit lean, and you need to pick that up. I've seen a few people, you know, with their trucks on YouTube are like that. They probably don't know. So there you go. I might do a video on how to adjust a carburetor. Actually, I'm not going to do it now because I can't be bothered. I've got to do some other stuff. But just make sure, look after your trucks and use a bit of common sense, my friends. Basically, that's all I wanted to do because it was paining me. I know a lot of people ain't going to take any notice of me, but it was paining me watching these people making these videos, you know, and you can see there's a lot of play in their joints and bits and bobs, you know, and they're driving through big puddles. And another thing as well, if you oil your joints, yeah, if you're going to go out in the wet, yeah, in the rain or in the wet or in any mud, if you oil the joints and oil everything, yeah, before you go out, the oil to some extent will repel any water, yeah. Only to some extent. If you're going through puddles that are this deep, you know, it ain't going to do too much. But if you're just driving around in the rain after it's rained, in some wet grass or something, the oil will repel the water to an extent. And if you keep spraying it on, say every every half an hour, of driving around in the wet grass or on the wet pavement, spray another bit of oil. Just go around your little joints there, on your drive shafts, suspension joints where this all moves about. Just spray a little bit of oil on it all, and you know, it will repel the water, and things won't go rusty, and you won't get as much wear. So it's a good thing to be doing. Like I said, it's common sense, but some people don't have any common sense, or just simply don't know about moving things. Some people might have bought one of these trucks for a bit of fun, but they have no mechanical experience on anything. So, you know, just a little bit of advice for you lot. I know I haven't made a video in a while. I keep meaning to make some videos for this channel, but I keep making ones for the other channel. There's not really a lot to video for this channel yet, so. But there you go. I hope some of you take my advice on board. And if you have any questions, just ask me. And if it's worth it and I can make a video out of it, I'll make a video to answer the question. If not, I'll just answer your comment. But you know, ask me some questions I can make videos of, because then I can demonstrate things if you want me to. If you need me to, I can do demonstrations of things. But keep your oil handy, my friends. What I sometimes like to do, I like the big WD-40s, but sometimes if I haven't got enough room, I just have a little can like that. Keep that with me, because then that keeps you can keep everything nicely rolled with that. You can get an air filter oil as well. I don't know if I've got any. Oh, I have. Look, yeah, look. What's this under here? Air filter oil. Right, get some of this stuff. Put it on your air filter. Yeah, because it repels water and stops, like, oh look, it's quite cheap as well. Well, for that size bottle, it's not really that cheap. I think I got it from an actual model shop. I actually went down to Heath's RC Models and bought that, I think. But if you get it on the internet, it'll probably be cheaper. And it's just basically oil, and it's special oil, air filter oil, and it just repels water, helps to stop dust getting through and things like that. So you want to get some of that as well, my friends. Look after your trucks. Take care of it. Even if you are stupidly rich, still take care of your possessions, my friends.